Back in the day, Tom Brokaw was a voice of God anchorman, but now he's an NBC special correspondent, which gives him the freedom to offer opinions for better or worse. Adam Riley has more.
I know.
Yeah, right?
On Meet the Press, talking about support for President Trump's proposed border wall, Tom Brokaw offered some theories.
A lot of people see the rise of an extraordinary, important new constituency in American politics, Hispanics, who will come here and all be Democrats.
Then, after saying some white Americans are afraid of brown grandbabies, Brokaw added this.
The Hispanics should work harder at assimilation. They ought not to be just codified in their communities, but make sure that all of their kids are learning to speak English and that they feel comfortable in the communities.
A take that triggered an avalanche of criticism.
And the idea that we think of American can only speak English as if Spanish and other languages wasn't always part of America is some ways troubling.
First of all, there is absolutely nothing wrong with speaking Spanish.
So many people, Aaron, work so hard to overcome huge struggles and obstacles in order to assimilate. It's part of what makes America great. Brokaw didn't seem to get that.
On Twitter, Brokaw offered an apology and some other more cryptic statements.
In a flurry of bizarre tweets, he added, "My tweet portal is whack."
So was Brokaw's commentary out of bounds? That depends on your politics and how you read numbers like these.
51% of U.S.-born Latinos with immigrant parents speak both English and Spanish. By the third generation, 75% are English dominant.
3 years ago, Brokaw was hailed after he condemned Trump's call for a ban on Muslims.
In my lifetime alone, we have been witness to the consequences of paranoia overriding reason.
From now on, though, he may be inclined to keep his opinions to himself.
Well, keep in mind, he did apologize. He never said he was wrong or admitted he was wrong, but I think further on down the line, he was suggesting he was wrong. The National Association of Hispanic Journalists condemned him and at first did not accept the apology. They have since accepted it. But I thought the outrage was a little bit over the top. You know, they were also trying to shake down NBC, saying they should give a significant amount of money to the National Association of Hispanic Journalists. What's that got to do with this? Why give it to the Hispanic Journalists Association? I didn't really follow that. And, you know, there are pockets of communities in this country that don't assimilate. We all know that. One of his key mistakes, in my opinion, was saying the Hispanics, as if it's like one group of people.
Well, first of all, he's almost 80 years old, so let's cut the man some slack if he's spoken artfully.
So is Nancy Pelosi.
Right, and sometimes when people are almost 80 years old, they speak inartfully. Now, the other thing is, speaking as a Hispanic journalist, I don't think he has any need to apologize whatsoever. The notion that what he said is xenophobic is completely ironic. What he said is the exact opposite of xenophobia. People who advocate assimilation are welcoming to outsiders. They are inviting people from other countries to come in and join the American mainstream. That is what my father did. That is what generations and generations of Hispanic people have done. And there's no reason they shouldn't continue to do that and work towards doing that. It is hard work to do it. There are obstacles to overcome.
Was he wrong?
In saying that immigrants should assimilate? No, of course not.
Well, there's a couple of things going on here. Was he wrong to say that immigrants should assimilate? No. Was he wrong in suggesting that Hispanics are not assimilating? Yeah, he was wrong. I mean, by all evidence, Hispanics work very hard to learn English and to become part of American culture. You know, maybe the first generation doesn't do that as much as they might want to because they're working so hard, but certainly their kids do. You know, I aspire to be 80 years old myself someday, so I'm not going to I'm not going to use that as an excuse for him. I just would have thought that he would have known that Hispanic immigrants, like anybody else, are trying to get up to speed on English and American culture as quickly as they can.
I mean, I think all the right things have been said. He painted, obviously, with too broad a brush by talking about the Hispanics and they as a monolithic group of people. And empirically, Hispanics have been assimilating. I do think immigration and the role of immigration in society, it's a legitimate issue about which people should be talking. And I do worry when there's a real pylon when Tom Brokaw says some things that are clumsy or inartful, that it makes it harder for people to discuss, you know, what America's desires and aspirations for immigrants are, what immigrants' desires for being in this country should mean. And for it to kind of fall into this identity politics pylon, I think is sort of unhealthy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm fascinated by the concept of a Twitter portal. So it's something you pass through into a land of snark and stupidity.
And whack.
And it's whack, yeah. I don't even know if he knows what that means. And he also was wrong to talk about how Hispanic immigration means all Democrats. One of the big stories of election night in 2016 was the large Hispanic vote that Donald Trump got. So he didn't do his homework. I don't care how old you are. If you're going to go on national TV or go into mass media and talk about something as specific as this, you probably should have your homework done. And also, at any point, even in polite conversation, if you're about to say, well, insert name of an ethnic group here, R, blah, 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 you should self-edit. Because you're going to immediately get sucked through the portal of excessive generalization, and it's whack. That's right.